I just hope that the conclusion doesn't have me fight as any of the other characters besides Adachi, because I don't remember any of their moves. It's been way too long. Alright, let's get this done. This is the true ending, and perhaps fuck be so loud. Last episode of the series.
What power is this? How can one human's power alone be enough to best me?
Hino Kagutsuchi. That's what holds you back. The power I wield. The power we wield. It will never succumb to someone like you.
Silence, pest! I will not lose! I am stronger than anything!
How about fall damage? Hino Kagutsuchi's giant arm swings up high into the sky. This isn't good. If this place takes a direct hit from that enormous thing, never mind sweeping me off my feet, it could destroy this entire tower, what with all the quaking.
Persona!
Oh, he's back. This is the true ending, the Adachi ending. So then I can call my persona. The other Izanagi flies towards Kagutsuchi from behind, slashing at its giant arm and knocking it back.
Adachi-san? What are you doing? I set everything up perfect for you, and you still didn't finish it off before I woke up.
The way he scratches his head and as he rolls his eyes, without a doubt, that's the Adachi-san I know. Did he save me? Up until now, he's just dropping hints from us here and there, never doing anything to help us out directly. Seeing me surprised at this small change, noticeably only to those who know him. He furrows his brow. He's displeased in an ever so slightly embarrassed way.
Hey, what are you spacing out for? I don't have time to waste either. So let's hurry up and put it into this! Right.
Oh, they're gonna touch tips again. Okay. They respond to each other and melt into one. Never felt this fusion of conflicting powers before. They eventually coalesce into a sword which launches itself towards Hino Kagutsuchi's enormous roaring form.
Izanagi! Nagatsu Izanagi!
Yep, I know we just watched this, but you get to see it all over again. The screen shaking, oh my gosh. The giant sword, formed into the torrent of power, pierces Hino Kagutsuchi and disperses its body into fragments.
Over, Hino Kagutsuchi!
That's me when I get sick. It's over. No, I'm not watching that for the third time. The frenzy that was raging only a moment ago has unbelievably quieted down. There's only the cold and the calm moonlight in the air. The red fog has disappeared somehow, and I feel like time has stopped here.
Where is he?
I don't have to ask who he's talking about. It's easy enough to figure out. He's asking about Minazuki, the other self within him.
I don't know. He was trying to protect you from Kagutsuchi.
Wait, did I just skip an important cutscene?
I see.
Yeah, because this didn't happen before. It's different. The madness and childish denial he's shown up until now is all gone. But now he's just standing there with an air of quiet, icy menace. It's like he knows everything has happened before he was Minazuki.
When I woke up, I was in the hospital. I didn't know anyone there, or even how long I'd been out.
Shino starts to... hate being sick. He starts to talk. His clear voice is missing the intimidating quality it used to have.
My care was paid up for basically forever. I had a pretty good idea where the money came from.
Shuji Ikutsuki.
Yeah. The same goddamn bastard who tampered with an orphan kid and threw him away like yesterday's garbage when I blacked out.
Sho Minazuki was one of the orphans subjected by the Kirijo Ergonomics Research Laboratory as a test subject. Shuji Ikutsuki, a man in charge of the research, implanted a mysterious artifact known as a plume of dust into Sho's body.
That lab was everything to me. I did everything I could when I was a kid. I was happy to see that rotten bastard smile.
Sho.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, all that was left for me when I woke up was a shit ton of money and a world I never knew. You get it, right? All I know is fighting. I don't have a damn clue how to live in this world.
I think back to what Mitsuru-san said. By the time Sho was old enough to think for himself, he had been taken into the research lab and placed into confinement, cut off from all contact into the outside world. The only other person Sho knew was Shuji Ikutsuki, who was in charge of research at the time. And when Sho lost consciousness because of Yakutsuki's experiments, he was sent to a hospital. I can only imagine how the world must have looked when he woke up all alone in that hospital bed.
I left the hospital and went out into the world. Yeah, that's right. Into your Inaba.
What? You were in Inaba?
Yeah, and it sucked. It was so boring I thought I was gonna die. That's when the murder case broke on that foggy day.
Don't tell me.
That's right. I saw it all. I saw what you did, what you fought against, and how you solved the case.
Okay. Good lord, Sho knows about us far longer than we knew him. He's been observing us all this
It
time.
was fun. It got my blood pumping. I got the scent of battle. And I thought you were just like me. Then right when that case was just about closed, that thing spoke to me. It asked if I wanted to destroy the world.
You're talking about Kagutsuchi.
Yeah. And Nazuki came up with the plan, and I went with it. And then, you know the rest.
It's just as I thought. Sho doesn't really want the world destroyed. What he really yearns for is a world he can live in. Okay, so that God took advantage of him then in that case. Because, like, it would make more sense that, obviously, since Sho saw, you know, you and the others prove that Adachi and Izanami, their way was not sustainable, right? Why would Sho want the same thing from another god, right? So he was just taken advantage of. Okay, I got it. I guess that's one way to quickly redeem him. Because we're not getting a fucking Sho episode, are we?
Sho, don't be afraid to bond with people. You're like Labras, someone who was made to fight, so that's all they know. But she's one of our good friends now.
It's just like when Yosuke, Chie, and my other friends accepted their shadows. It's an obstacle Sho must overcome as well.
Still, the only way I can relate to you all is by fighting.
Oh god, I don't remember.
All right then.
No.
If fighting is the only way you can form bonds, then I'll fight you till the cows come home. Just don't drag anyone else into it.
Hey, why cows? Keep the cows out of here. Just like that, cows return to Sho's eyes. I mean life. Along with it, the scar on his forehead shines a pure bluish white, and I can sense the fire of life, much stronger than before, surging through his entire body. Not only that, but something rises behind him. It's like the persona that Minazuki was using. This is Sho's true unbound strength. Oh well, looks like the strategy was a failure. I can't go easy on him at this rate.
Here goes.
It'd be very embarrassing if I lose right now. Let's not do that.
Final.
Thank god, Yu's kind of easy to play though. Okay.
Persona!
Ooh, good combo. Combo here. Nice. Yeah, Yu has a really simple moveset, so I kind of remember some of his moves.
It's over.
Why is Margaret here?
Show me Nazuki. To think he'd take so quickly to the persona passed down from the self born of that plume of dusk. It's been a while since we've had a guest with that much power. I presume Sho will be a rather dreadful underclassman for him. I truly look forward to what develops of this.
Ah, so that red-haired young man has reached an epiphany.
Yes. The many encounters he had here have brought about a change within him.
Yeah, where's my boy Theodore? He better be here too.
He'll surely have many more experiences and battles on his journey from here on, as a new guest of the room.
Elizabeth, will you not return to us? Theo was worried about you. I believe he had been to this place as well.
Oh, did he? I hadn't noticed at all. Not even a raindrop's worth.
Is that so?
Well then, it seems the time has come for me to take my leave. Please tell my incompetent brother this. My journey has just begun.
Ah, Elizabeth. I sense that you may become a guest of our room someday yourself.
Oh shit, really? That's pretty cool. Persona 6 Elizabeth confirmed protagonist alongside Nanako Social Link. Akechi comes back from the dead, social link. Adachi redeemed out of prison, social link. Actually, that's kind of like a crack plot right there. You know, like imagine Elizabeth is like the Persona 6 pro tag, and then she gets to meet all these other like side characters that weren't really that prominent. Like you could bring Micah from P3. You know, she's all grown up. There, social link right there, easy. You can have from P4. You can have that. I don't want to name that teacher, but you could have the. Fuck, who is it? You could have like Chie's friend. Not Chie's friend. He'd be in college by then. But you could have like some other Persona 4 characters. You could have the On's rival. What was her name? Mika. She could be a social link and just have all these like side characters. Or Shiho. That was it. Shiho. Shiho could be like a party member and just have like a crack party of just Elizabeth with all these side characters. It'd be amazing. That was close. My blood ran cold many times during the battle. I fought with all my might without holding back at all. But Sho was fast, his slashes were sharp, and he fought like a veteran warrior who's going through intense training.
How do you feel, Sho?
I lost. That's the brawn of a guy with bonds, huh? Never mind. Even my jokes are lame right now.
Come at me whenever you want, as often as you want. I'll always accept the challenge.
Yeah, this isn't the end for Sho. This battle is only the beginning. The only way Sho can form a relation with others was by hurting them. He started this mess because he wanted so badly to have those bonds he couldn't attain. But in every strike he aimed at me during our fight, I think I sensed his wish for us to accept each other and to boost one another up. Which is how it should be. Connection with others can be a great strength depending on how you face them. It helps us grow. Sho took hold of the first chance he had, through whatever means he knew, and offered it to me. I intend to accept his challenge with all my might. I wonder if that got through to him.
So what are you gonna do now? I meant it when I said that the others would.
That's enough. I'm tired of all your lecturing. I'll kill you for sure one day. You better be ready when I come for you.
He makes a smirking bow and disappears, flying far away from here. All I can do is smile at his rather smug attitude. On seeing Sho leave, Margaret approaches me.
It seems it's over. That was a wonderful battle. It even made my heart skip a beat. I'll look forward to your rematch with him.
I'd be fine if he didn't show up for a while.
Yeah, Margaret, by the way, the tower is crumbling. Margaret's like, this isn't about him. This isn't about him.
Is that so? This encounter between you two will one day give way to something irreplaceable. I don't know your desires, but that may be the nature of the power you hold.
Who knows?
It's true that I've made wonderful friends here in Inaba, and it's those friends who have allowed me to overcome my trials so far. But that's not because I'm special or anything. I'm sure the same thing will happen to Sho from here on out too.
By the by, now that the red fog is gone, this place will disappear shortly. Shouldn't your friends evacuate more urgently?
That's right, I completely forgot about that. Fuck. Yeah, I did forget about that. This tower is only illusion that came out of the red fog, so now that the fog is gone, this place will turn back to regular old Yasukami-ai.
Margaret, I have a favor to ask you.
I'm sick. Can you cleanse my sickness?
Oh? What is it?
Could you please send all my friends here in the tower somewhere safe?
Margaret falls silent, as if thinking for a moment, and then turns a smile towards me.
Since you did entertain me somewhat, I suppose I should show my appreciation. Very well. I shall send you all to a safe place.
Thank you.
May we meet again in the Velvet Room.
Oh yeah, and Adachi too is like dead on the ground. After those parting words, I'm enveloped in a white light. As my vision begins to fade, I see the open space I was just in start to peel away from the edges and crumble without a sound.
What's this? Oh, it seems I was a moment too late. To think I missed an opportunity to see two tremendous powers clash. Oh, how I wish I could have witnessed it with my own eyes.
Are you satisfied yet?
Sister? Why are you here?
Is there some irregularity with my presence here?
No, that wasn't what I meant.
So, did you see Elizabeth?
I wasn't out to find her. Rather, I was scouting the area in search of this cola you wished for. It's true. This is my proof.
Oh, we got it. He finally got it.
I did not think that this cola would be hidden in such a sturdy metallic box. Disassembling the box took some time, but I did so without breaking anything. I also inserted all the 10,000 yen bills I had before reassembling it.
10,000. Damn, you could buy like a scale figure for that much.
To think that the people of this world go to such lengths simply just to buy cola. I still have much to learn.
It doesn't matter. So, were you able to take a look about this world?
Ah, of course, sister. The people I encountered here exhibited much stronger powers than usual. By trusting in these bonds between each other, I gather that the reason they display such powers is because they have a wish they desire, along with the ones their bonds connect them to.
I see. I'm surprised. You did rather well.
I think Elizabeth may have found such a wish as well.
She has. What makes you say so?
Perhaps it's only my imagination, but I sensed something while pursuing her. I thought Elizabeth might have found something she wants to do for someone besides herself. In other words, a wish of her own.
Huh.
Sister?
I see. Very well. So, what kind of bonds do you intend on exploring?
Well, I believe we should first start by making a toast with this cola. I've heard that it is a sublime ritual performed by the people of this world to further strengthen their bonds.
I already worry about where you'll end up. Come now, Theo. Let's go back.
Please, wait for me, sister!
Rest in peace, Theodore. This is the most screen time you'll get outside of P3P. Oh, there's still more. Nice. True end today. What is today? We're back here. Okay, May 6th, a sunny day in contrast to the gray skies of yesterday. More like red skies. Even though this is the last day of the Golden Week, the Junes food court seems pretty quiet. Normally it would be even more crowded than usual, but the reason it's empty is obvious at a glance. The people fled into the store like a receding tide, afraid of the bizarre crew who just showed up. It includes a man covered by not much except a cape, a costumed hero, a woman in thick fur despite the summer heat, and 2 robots.
Whoa, it looks like the place is all ours. Is management gonna be okay with this?
It's usually more crowded. My dad's gonna kill me if he finds out about this. Wait, is this my fault?
Even Yosuke seems at his wit's end as he answers Junpei. Teddy in his usual costume rather than normal clothes, but thanks to the idiosyncrasies of the shadow operatives, he doesn't stand out too much at all. After the night we solved the case, we decided to take the opportunity to throw a celebration party with everyone. I don't know the details of how it got started, but since Labrys wanted it to be at some place bussing, Yosuke took the bold step of deciding to hold it here. Damn. Okay, Labrys already got that Zoomer terminology. She got that Zoomer language pack installed. What I want to know is, how did it not occur to him that this would happen?
Well then, it's a great day out and...
It's good advertisement, that's what.
That's so played out, Yosuke-sen.
Just hurry up and get things started. I'm starving.
Sorry, Rise.
Oh, I give up. You do it, partner.
Me?
In addition to our usual members, the shadow operatives joining in has made our group pretty big, and Yosuke gives up as everyone stares at him amidst catcalls. Oh well, if someone falls, then another will follow them up. That's how our investigation team rolls, after all.
Okay, here goes. 1, 2.
The modest party kicks off with a toast. No one must have gotten much sleep last night, but they're all having fun chatting. Some are reuniting with friends they haven't seen in a while, and others are meeting new people for the first time.
My, it's hot today. Yuka-chan, aren't you hot in that costume? You could unzip the suit just a little bit.
Whoa, hey! Don't touch that! Are you hot, Teddy? I'll open up your zipper for you. Here we go.
Labby-chan, it doesn't open that way! No!
Huh? It came off.
Did she break the zipper?
Ah! The pretty boy within can't come out now!
Speaking of pretty boys, that definitely applies to Ken-kun. He's got, like, this natural aura around him. I think you're right. He seems like someone you just can't resist looking after. Did someone say my name? Wow, you're right. His skin is clearer than the average girl's, too.
I don't know if it's just me, but Ken actually looks like a younger Goro Akechi. Like, if his name was Akechi, I would totally believe you if he's the villain in P5, like if he's the same character, because that hair just looks like it. It has to be the eyes. I think the eyes sell it, because like Akechi has gray eyes too.
Huh? What?
You're after my position as pretty boy, aren't you, Ken?
Wait, does he have red eyes?
I won't let you get away with this!
I have to check my Akechi figure. I'm pretty sure he either has gray eyes or red eyes. I'm pretty sure it's gray eyes though.
I knew I should have bought a change of clothes. I'm sticking out like a sore thumb. May as well put on my mask since that actually might help. Wait, huh? Where's my mask? Akihiko-san! That looks perfect on you!
Interesting. Yeah, it really limits your field of vision. If I wear it during my training, it'll really help for low visibility situations.
That's my new Discord profile pic.
What kind of situations are those? People will call the police on you if you train in that.
Whoa! It looks surprisingly good on you, Master. You look like a comic book hero.
It seems they have a good master-disciple relationship going. Wow, you're an engineering student, Fukusan? I'm hopeless at math, so I really admire girls who are strong in the sciences. It's nothing, really. You can be good at it, too, once you get the hang of it.
Hey, what do engineering students do anyway? Do you know, Yukiko?
They fix engines.
Maybe they do experiments. You know, like adding secret ingredients to dishes.
That too.
So that was an experiment.
What kind of guy do you go for, Mitsuru-san? Are you engaged or something?
Okay, Yosuke.
Me? I did have someone like that in the past. But all I can focus on right now are my missions.
Oh yeah, she did. I completely forgot. Yeah, Mitsuru's social link, right? She did have a fiance, but then he was like a douchebag, and then the MC's like, want to run away with me, Mitsuru? We could like take your scooter and take your bicycle, go to the mountains or something. Yeah, I remember that.
Whoa, you got guts taking a shot at Mitsuru-senpai and all this chaos, kid. She's a tough one, so be prepared.
What? Iori?
You're so funny, Junpei-san. I think you might be one of the top 2 funniest people I know.
Yosuke's number 1.
What's this? Is the lovely Rosette actually complimenting me?
She's not complimenting you at all. So who's the other one?
Why are you all looking at me for? Kind of rude, don't you think?
Hey, Yukiko-senpai. Can I pet him now too?
He says he wants to stay here a bit longer. Right, Gangaromaru?
What the fuck? How do you butcher his name that badly? Where'd you get the G from?
At least learn his actual name. You understood that?
That's why there are some cases where one can't help but to take drastic action.
I see. Impressive, Naoto-san. You really live up to the Shirogane name.
Well, it's a bit of a dirty tactic, but in certain pressing circumstances...
Impressive. Pressing? Naoto-san, was that a pun just now? It's well over the phoneme threshold.
Huh? Of course not. It was just a coincidence.
We've been... Fuck. We've been fighting all through Golden Week, and we've only just now get a moment to catch our breaths. Yeah, more like a moment to catch my fucking lungs, that's what. The party goes on, with the usual drift from topic to topic. I eventually noticed that Labras has stepped away from everyone to stand alone in the corner of the food court, so I go talk to her. You know what this reminds me of? Like me coughing and recording. It reminds me of that one fucking episode I recorded during my P3P run of the FemC route. It was the Kyoto episode. I know specifically it was the fucking Kyoto episode where like we were hanging out in the inns, and I had really bad allergies that day, and I was recording, and like I blew my nose like 20 times, and it was a terrible recording session. But I was like, I can't do this again. There's so much reading in that game, so I still uploaded it. But I was like, maybe a decade from now, I'll rewatch that video and be like, yep, that was me.
What's the matter, Labras?
Oh, I was just looking out at the town. I didn't get a really good look at it the other day, so I want to take it in as much as I can now.
She gazes past the fence into the distance. The area around her is just an ordinary country town. It's hard to think that there's anything novel about it. But this is Labris, who's been asleep for over 10 years. Everything she sees must be fresh and new to her.
What do you see?
Lots of things. There's tons of people, everyone living their life to the fullest. Hey, Yukon. Thanks for everything.
That's not true, Labris. This is like, what, a small town? There's like a total of, what, population 50? Labris suddenly bows formally to me. Did we do something? Is she just thanking us for helping her out?
It was you who helped us out this time, Labris. We're even now.
But Labris just slowly shakes her head. I guess that wasn't what she meant. So what then? I can't think of anything else she could be thanking us for.
No, that's not what I meant. I slept for so long that everything's a first for me. Like having a celebration party with so many folks.
Huh. Well, are you enjoying it?
For sure. Everyone seems like they're having fun, so that makes me happy. And there's something I figured out, too. You guys and all them shadow operatives might not be together all the time, but that don't matter.
Labris and I look back towards the group. There's no investigation team or shadow operatives anymore. Only a cheerful time shared between friends. The bonds we forge won't disappear no matter how far apart we may be. That's something I learned from Mitsudo and her people. They all went their separate ways, but they reunited here even after quite some time because of this case. I hope our investigation team will be like them from now on. I think we have it in us. What happened over the last few days was our first step towards that goal.
I agree, but doesn't the same go for us, since we got to meet during Golden Week?
You're right. We promised to meet again, and though that was literally just the other day, here I am again. It was tough, but fun too. That's why I want to thank you.
I could say the same to you.
A smile naturally forms on both our faces. After Labris has a good laugh, she looks straight at me.
I'm sure Shokun will be okay.
Hmm?
He might have lived all alone, without anyone to talk to, but we're there for him now.
Yeah, Sho's journey is just getting started. We can change as much as we want by learning from other people.
You got that right.
Labris mumbles to herself and looks into the distance once again. Her expression is bright. It's like she really is human. And I have no doubts that Sho can make just as dramatic a transformation.
I'm gonna do my best too.
It's truly a wonderful day out. The sun's risen high up into the sky, casting strong shadows on the rooftop. The clear blue skies of Inaba look as though they're blessing our futures. The end. The true end. Okay, one moment, I'm gonna blow my nose before I talk about what my thoughts on the game. Nice, and I got the achievement for the true ending, yes. Okay, so with that, I'm pretty confident that we've consumed every piece of content in the game. At least I have, and the other stuff is like off screen. So I played the arcade mode, I played the time attack, I played the golden arena, just a bit, not too much yet, and I have not played online because I know I'm gonna fucking suck ass. So that is actually one thing that I'm not going to talk about, and one thing I will not get into as well in the formal look back, because I'll be honest, I don't really play these types of games for the PvP. Honestly, if you didn't know already, I played this game basically because it's Persona, and I played both P3 and P4, so I was like, okay, good, I can now play this game and have full context, so that's why I engaged in this title. Now, for the... I can talk about the story real quick, then I'll talk about, like, the, you know, the actual gameplay, which is the fighting. So the story, I think, overall is very simple, but a bit too dragged out. And by dragged out, I mean the perspectives that you have to play in. So, one thing that I noticed, let's talk about them in sections. P4A comes first, right? And essentially the first four characters, which is Yu, Chie, Yukiko, and Yosuke, are pretty much one for one the same exact story. Now, naturally, you're not compelled and not required to play every single story, read every single story, and appreciate it, because even though there are some minute differences, especially in the to-be-continued endings, they're not necessarily canonical. If anything, the canonical roots in this game, from what I seem to understand, is Yu's route, so his story is canonical, and Labris's route is canonical in the P3 episode. it was a bit confusing, especially going into this blind, like what is real, what is not, or you know, what is canon, what is essentially just an alternate ending, basically, to, I guess, reward the viewer for going through each individual story. But for the P4A story, I think it had a very interesting grab to it. Like, obviously they had to tie it into some sort of fighting tournament or whatever, right? Because, you know, this game is a fighting game. So I think they did the best that they could with this, especially tying in the P3 cast. I like how the continuity did make sense for me as a P3P player. The only, I think, continuity that was a bit of a break for me was the Plume of Dusk terminology. That was something that just did not exist, or if it did exist, I forgot. And so if it was in P3P, I do apologize, but I don't remember or recall Plume of Dusk ever being mentioned in that. So that might be a Persona 3 or Persona 3 FES terminology exclusive. So yeah, I don't know that either. Also, I didn't play Persona 3D Answer, so playing through Elizabeth's route did not make that much sense to me either, because I didn't have that extra context either. That aside, I did enjoy all the non-duplicate routes, so like playing Teddy's route, playing Kanji's route in P4A was nice. Mitsuru, Akihiko, and Aigis were identical, but still playing at least one of their sides was nice, as well as learning more about Labris in her individual story. And yeah, overall P4A, as long as I'm not playing the duplicate stories, it was pretty much predictable, almost to the fact where I was able to predict what the next voice line was sometimes if I knew what they were saying and what they were getting at, especially with the cutscenes. Oh my god, the cutscenes were just the fucking similar, same thing all the time. But yeah, overall I think great start. Episode P4 came after, which was the one I accidentally started in the first episode, and I like how they kind of just got straight to the point where it was like, okay, you know, we're back in another tournament. I mean, I can't really say I have a better alternative to how do you drag these characters back in, especially for like the other characters that weren't in it. You know, the other Persona 3 cast like Yukari, Junpei, Kodomaru, and Ken. So
This program was brought to you by the
when
following
it comes for those
sponsors.
characters, you know, they needed to find a way to do another tournament or to have them dragged in somehow. And I'm not exactly sure of the timeline as to when the quotation Ultimax portion was brought into the game. So when it comes to the Ultimax portion, another tournament, that's pretty much all they could do. One thing that I really did like though is that they gave us the Adachi episode, which I'll talk about after. But yeah, the climax of the game was pretty predictable, I guess. I really wasn't thinking they were gonna pull another god out of their ass trope like they do with all the Persona games. Like, you know, they did it for P3, right? Nyx, Persona 4, they did it Anemo no Saigiri, and then Persona 5 they did it with Yaldabaoth, right? So it's pretty much a tradition for Atlus to do this for all their games, and it follows suit with this title as well. I didn't really have any problems with it when it comes to like JRPG tropes and, you know, the fight god from like hunting cows or something from level 1. It doesn't really bother me, and if anything, at least they made it a cohesive story. Like I was able to follow it through, and I guess the only reason why I was able to follow it through as well was because you're watching like the same story at least 4 to 5 times, so it's kind of hard to lose the plot. But yeah, story wasn't that great, wasn't that bad either. It was all right, really. You know, the themes are pretty much the same and aligned with both Persona 4 and Persona 3, where it's all about bonds and kind of overcoming hardships, and the same similar themes that you're used to in both the original P3 and the original P4. So with that said, I'm done talking about the main story because there's not really much to say. I do want to talk about Adachi, and then I want to talk about Sho a bit because I think there's a bit to say about them. Adachi, I think... So, I would only really recommend a player to actually engage in this specific title if you're either a Persona fan, like you just love Persona as a franchise or like for the IP, or 2, you like fighting games, because this game is, I would say, 95% reading and 5% fighting. Now obviously I sped the fighting part up because, you know, for video's sake, I only made the fighting rounds one fight one round win. So whoever wins the first round basically wins. That's it, right? There's no. I could have made it 5 rounds, and I could have made the fighting content more, but I didn't because I just wanted to focus on the story, and I didn't mind it. But I think for a lot of people, like, even if you played the original Persona games, there is a lot of reading, and it's a lot of consistent reading without, like the usual breaks. Like usually if you play, let's bring up P3 because that's the one that I have on my channel, right? You'll do a lot of reading in the real world, right? With some social links, but then you'll get a bit of a break because you'll go into Tartarus, right? And fight some shadows. So at least there's like a palette cleanser of content where you're going from visual novel to turn-based combat, right? But in this title, you're reading for a long period of time, and I know that's not for everyone. For me, it doesn't really bother me. Like, that's the thing about me. It's very hard for me to lose interest in a game. Like, the game actually has to be terrible fundamentally, or very player unfriendly for me to dislike it. So so it didn't really bother me too much, but that is like a couple criteria, not criticisms, that I would give to this specific title. Is that either you're a Persona fan, or you either you're a Persona fan or you're a fighting game fan, and if you're either of those two, then this game is definitely for you. But if you're not, then go into this knowing that you're going to be doing a lot of reading, especially if you want to clear all the content in the game, which is pretty much story mode. Everything else is kind of side content. So with that said, Adachi. I think Adachi is the best character that benefited from this title. A lot of the other characters are pretty much the same as they were, even though there's been a time skip of relatively 3 years for the P3 cast and 5 months for the P4 cast. So despite all the other characters from both the P4 and P3 cast being the same, I think Adachi got the most significant development because we get to see his inner monologue thoughts, and that is something that you just never ever really see in your villains, where you get to see them in the first person. And I think that this not only humanizes Adachi, but it makes him even more relatable than how we see him in Persona 4, because after he's defeated, it's kind of like he goes to jail and that's it. Like, you don't see him later. It's like Soma. Wait, I don't know if this video is coming out at the same time where Lost Judgment's ending, so I'm gonna not spoil myself right now or spoil anyone who's watching this alongside Lost Judgment, if there is anyone who's actually doing that. I doubt it. I'm the only one who watches my videos. But yeah, anyways, what I'm getting to is that I think Adachi really benefited from this. He's a great character, and this episode specifically for him was really great, because if you're an Adachi fan, this basically shows that he learned from his experiences in Persona 4, and going forward, he is indeed a changed man, which is something that we usually don't see in villains because they're just either killed off or forgotten. Okay, and then finally I want to talk about Sho, because it sucks that he doesn't have his own episode, because I think that's the one thing that he needed. Sho is kind of just like a throwaway villain in my opinion. He literally just shows up in episode P4, and then that's it. Like, you just fight him. He's an angry guy, and then even after, it's like, yeah, all I know is how to fight, so let's fight. And then Yu's like, okay, so now you want to be friends? And he's like, nah, I'm a peace out, and I'm gonna kill you one day, by the way, so I'm gonna go anyways, later, bye, right? And it's just, I don't know, I feel like they didn't really know what to do with Sho, right? So he was a potential Strega member because Ikutsuki basically fostered him, right? So there was that potential. But then on top of that, he was like abandoned, and there was just like this long period of time where he was watching you and the others during the events of the Persona 4 base game, and he was just observing him this like the entire time. Like, what? Like, don't you want to fight them, or don't you want to help them? Like, he just watched them the entire time, which is kind of awkward, I guess. And then he just disappears, which is kind of weird because I don't really know what they were trying to do with Sho. Like, nothing really was accomplished. He just kind of showed up and all that. At least Labris had a full arc with her backstory, right? Like, her P4A story was completely dedicated to her past, where they touched on 24, they touched on the dog, the lab that she was in, and you really got to know her on a emotional level and develop that emotion throughout the P4A story, and the P4 story as well. P4 story not so much, because that's kind of when it became a holistic type of experience from all the characters' perspectives, but Labrys was fully developed, and I think what they were trying to do was kind of make Labrys the protagonist to then have her developed in P4A, teach Sho, and develop him after, but then Sho just kind of disappears after the events of the game, so it's like he didn't really change. He's just like, oh, I'm not being controlled anymore, and by the way, I don't think I can still integrate into society, even though, you know, you're all telling me that you accept me now. So it's like, okay, well, I guess not then. I'll see you later. So I don't know. I feel like if we had an episode for Sho alongside Adachi, I feel that or a P4A episode similar like Labrys's past in for Sho, that would have made his character 50% more richer, and I would feel more emotionally attached to him as a character too when he decides to refuse Yu's offer in the end. So yeah, that's the characters, that's the story. I'll talk quickly about the other modes. So there's arcade mode, score attack, and golden arena. Arcade's pretty cool because you can do it for money. As you can see in the bottom left, you get money from beating it. What do you use the money on? Icons. You can use them on icons apparently for when you're online in the network. I haven't actually created my account yet, so I need to do that. Maybe I'll play some online in my own time. I'm definitely not gonna put that shit on camera, you know. It's like I'm about to bust hands right now, and it's like, hey yo, I got my ass whooped. I'm not posting that shit, right? Like, yeah, that's me. Okay, I'm not posting that shit. But on a more serious note, arcade mode is pretty cool. You just do like 10 rounds, I believe, or 5 rounds against 5 random characters, and it's like an arcade. Literally, you just fight, and you either win or lose, and then you get money based on how many characters you beat. Score attack is a bit different. I haven't played too much against it, but it's a bit more skill based, as you only have so much time to fight against the CPUs, and I think there were some rewards tied to this that were kind of actually hard to get, but in the Ultimax version there aren't any, so I didn't really dabble too much into this because there weren't really too many rewards attached to this one. As for golden arena mode, this is the roguelike mode almost. I can showcase it a bit actually, because I did play it a bit. So yes, this is interesting, and I didn't really expect a fighting game to have this. So yeah, I actually dabbled a bit in Adachi.
Between dream and reality.
So
And matter.
golden arena mode is like a roguelike where you select a character, and each character has a different it's like the normal RPG stats that you're used to, right? Like, these are skills that are in the original Persona games, and basically you just fight an endless wave of enemies in order to gain levels, and the levels transfer over eventually until you die. So like if I choose Adachi, yeah, if I choose Adachi, I can select a support. So like, for instance, I got to floor 21 on the hard course because I grinded, and let's say I do the hard course, right? I can choose my social link. I got Aegis to level 5, for instance, and so if I choose Aegis, I get increased defense. And it's what happens is it pits you against other fighters, but sometimes depending on your level, you're at a serious advantage or serious disadvantage. Like, maybe you move faster, or maybe your attacks do more damage, or maybe your persona abilities inflict a certain status effect. So it's pretty cool. It adds an element, an RPG element to a fighting game, which is quite interesting. It's also super flippin' grindy too, because it's an old game, and the max parameters are pretty out there. So yeah, this is something that I'll be grinding for quite a while.
Welcome.
I'm not sure how far I intend to actually take this, but it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool mode for just fighting and maybe owning your skills even, because you're just going up against endless CPUs. Versus is just for when you're playing with a friend, and network is obviously for online play. So that's that. There's the lessons. I did them all pretty useful, by the way. I'm really glad that someone recommended this to me after the first episode because yeah, I was like, there's so much stuff, and these 60 tutorials definitely made it easier to prioritize as like a new player to fighting games what to focus on, like, because it's pretty overwhelming already. And I'll be honest, even after playing this game for like 50 hours, there's a lot that I still don't use, just because it's not intuitive for me too, right? Like, that's the thing about humans. There's a lot that we know, but a lot that we don't really intuit because we're just not used to it, right? So there's that. Training mode is what I used for a lot of the introductions to the characters and learning about them. And oh god, challenge mode. I don't even know if I want to talk about this. This is like the true end game, and I don't even know if I'll ever be able to do all of them.
Welcome to the Velvet
So like, these challenges are freaking hard, okay? I've only done a couple with Margaret, but like,
Picture in your head your own appearance
These-
as well as your alter ego.
these challenges
Your
become
persona.
super easy to like super fucking hard. Like, look at this. You gotta do all this in one sitting. All of these moves. And if you fuck up once, you gotta redo it all. And like, I just couldn't. This is like, for the record, this is how far I got with Margaret. I got all the way to number 20, and then I gave up here. I couldn't do 21. I was just like, no. So yeah, this is for the record how far I got. And after that, I'm not even doing the other characters, because like, I could do it with Naoto, but then there's also Gato Naoto, who has their own. What even is this? Double fangs? What? Yeah, so yeah, that is something that I actually will unfortunately not be able to complete because I don't have the aptitude for that stuff. I'm too old, man, I swear. I can't do this stuff anymore. I'm 25. But yeah, that's it for Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, really. Overall, a interesting experience, really. I think that's the best way I can label it, really. It was an interesting game with a unique exposure for myself personally. I don't play fighting games, and it's something that I really wouldn't pick up on my own accord, really. Maybe later, when I have more time to kind of just chill. But I'll be honest, I got so many games to play now. Like, I've been working a lot more now that I'm out of school, because I graduated last fall in December. And you know, you would think I have a lot more time, but I just don't. I've been working a lot more, you know, making some more money because I want to buy like more stuff, right? But it's just, there's so many more games coming out, and like, my backlog just doesn't move. Thankfully, it's not really getting bigger, it's just not moving. So I really want to get more games out of the way. I really want to showcase more games on the channel, and because of that, it brings me into my next point that I'm really sorry. We're already past February, but I already failed to honor the lineup that I put for myself for Midnight Memories last year. I said I was gonna do SMT3 and this game in February, and I failed to even start SMT3 because I was just so busy. And now it's bloody March, and I haven't even started Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. So what's the plan here, basically, right? Like, that's the real question here before I close this off. What's the plan? Well, the plan is this, okay? There are some months in this year that are only featuring one game. I don't remember what months they are. I have to look back on it. But I think one of them is approaching in April, and that's Hogwarts Legacy. And so my plan is to make up for those games for those months that only have one game. I know it's a lot, but I'm pretty sure I can do it. I haven't been lazy. I've just been kind of overwhelmed with a lot of stuff. Like, I had a convention that was Fan Expo, and then I got sick, and then I worked a bunch, and so I really want to get back down to kind of catching up on recording, because I'll be honest, I haven't been recording in a long time, and it's kind of weird, really. So don't worry, one thing's good. After this, because this series is now over, Judgment is also ending in a couple days as well, because as of now, Judgment is also complete, and so is the look back. So I'm gonna get working on this immediately, and then after this game, I promise, will be Final Fantasy VII, and I'm going to do my best to fit in SMT3 as well somewhere in April. I know it will happen. Other than that, everything should be back to normal. It's a bit strange because I know I'm entering in March right now, so like the schedule might be a bit weird where we'll have like 3 games going on at once because just the timing of the daily uploads are a bit weird, but it's fine.